Hello, women of the Channel Leadership Network. I am Jackie Rives, your community leader, and welcome to another Woman of the Week. I'm so excited to introduce you to someone on my team over in the UK, Francesca Kilford, Senior Client Manager with the Channel Company. Welcome, Francesca. Thank you so much for being here.
Oh, thank you so much for your time as well. It's great to be on this chat with you.
Awesome. So we'll start out easy. Where do you live and where did you grow up, if that's different?
So I live in Hertfordshire, which for people in the US who may not know, that's between London and Cambridge, so north of London. As a child, I lived in the south of London, in the home counties near Windsor Castle, and I also spent a little bit of time by the seaside as well.
London is on my bucket list for sure. So if I ever get over there, I will be calling you up for some shopping.
Yeah, I'll show you all the good shops, all the good to see. It's so easy within walking distance. You'd absolutely love it.
Love it, love it. All right. What is a little known fact about you, if you don't mind sharing?
Sure. So a little known fact about me is that as somebody who's scared of heights, which is a really interesting element to this, I have flown in a stunt plane with an RAF pilot, and he let me take control of it to do a stunt.
Oh, wow. What did you do?
I flipped the plane onto its side and then back up again. He gave me only a few seconds notice. I've never been so terrified in my life, but it was the most exhilarating thing I've ever done.
Yes, that sounds terrifying, especially because I am too afraid of heights too, but I can kind of understand what you're saying. But like, if I had known, I don't know if I would have gotten in the plane.
That's the thing. He didn't tell me it was a stunt plane when I got in it, which he clearly did on purpose, but that made it all the more exciting because, like I said, I'd have never have got on it otherwise. I'd have never known that I could do such a thing. So it was amazing.
Well, you proved something to yourself. That's amazing. I love it. Okay, I think we're going to start out with a bang here. So, what are some patterns you've noticed over the years about women at work and the things that they can be doing to advance their careers?
Sure. So, I mean, many of the patterns I've even been in, I've had these patterns myself in my career. I think we've all had experiences of these patterns at some point. And I think we communicate so much better now. We're so much more open about the patterns we see, but we don't always know how to address them. One thing I hear a lot and have been guilty of is always that element of speaking up and putting yourself forward, that imposter syndrome element where you think, well, somebody's already said what I've said, so I don't feel like I can say anything, or somebody's going to say that better than me, or I don't really know anything about that subject, so I'm just not going to get involved. Or you might think I have a really great idea, but you know what? Everybody will just think I'm a Rottweiler if I start pushing myself forward and speaking up. And it's about finding that balance in between. So there are ways, if somebody said a great idea and you don't know how to jump in, you can just say, I really support your idea. That's a fantastic thing. Can I get involved? If you have a really great idea and you don't want to be a Rottweiler, you can say, well, I've got this idea. But don't be afraid to step out and say that you've got an idea, but you don't know how to execute it. Or something sounds interesting you want to get involved in, but you don't know elements. It's okay to not know things. It's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to be a little bit unsure. That's what everybody around is there for. Lean on other people, let them build you up and celebrate their successes. And that way you can find your path. But I think everyone at some point has thought, I can't do that, or somebody can do that better than me, or somebody will go in. We've grown up in a culture where, especially even from the 80s and shoulder pads, we have to think, right, we have to
Yes.
we have to go in blazing, guns blazing, and be aggressive to be heard. And actually we can just be who we truly are, and that will get us to where we need to be. It's okay to be yourself.
It's actually better, right? Like,
Yeah.
because otherwise people can't read your mind. They don't know what you're thinking, what you're capable of. I know I am definitely guilty of what you've said. That's why I kind of love the job I'm in today, because that's what these discussions are for, right? Is letting others know, like, all the advice you just gave them, share your ideas. Not everybody knows everything. Every single person out there doesn't know something.
Exactly. And in our real lives as well, it's exactly the same. It's actually what women are fantastic at as well is communication. It's our biggest skill. And yet we suddenly jump into the workplace and be like a rabbit in headlights and think, oh, I don't know what to do. And yet
Yeah,
in real life, you do it every day naturally without even realizing.
it's true. That's true. I love that. So authentic. Um, what is the most important risk you took, and what was the outcome? Of course, aside from flipping planes.
Done a lot of stupid things in my real
Not stupid. I am definitely impressed.
I would say in my career, interestingly, it was moving into the world of tech. Prior to working for the channel company, in my last role and previous roles, I spent 11 years in my previous role, and I worked with consumer brands, reaching consumer audiences. And suddenly I dove into this whole world of tech, and people said, what are you doing? Why are you going to tech? What do you know about tech? And I had all these amazing transferable skills. And I have to say that joining the channel company, they were so open-minded with, okay, well, you've got all these great skill sets. You don't have to know everything about tech. And the people I've learned from have been people within the channel company themselves, from the people I speak to within the tech industry. I couldn't be more knowledgeable than I ever expected to be, because I've learned from everybody around me, and we always have that capacity to grow. And I'm so grateful that I jumped into a whole new industry, because it's an exciting industry to be in, and
It is.
there's so much room to grow. Things are changing every day. So it was a really risky thing to change from something I'd known for many, many years, especially the last role, 11 years in the same role. You kind of become very comfortable. So it was a
Yeah,
very uncomfortable thing to jump in to a
sure.
different
Yeah.
industry. And I
No.
absolutely love it. And every day is a new adventure. And it was the best thing I ever did.
I'm so glad. I'm so glad you took a risk and it definitely paid off. You are definitely a valued member of the team for sure. Um, so, with that experience, I'm sure that some of those, experiences and skills that you picked up doing that actually will kind of play into this question. And that's, how do you define successful leadership?
Yeah, that's quite an interesting one, because there's we kind of need to look at it in two pieces as to what is leadership and what it isn't, and then go into what makes a successful leader, really. Um, because one thing that I went through my whole career for a very long time believing was, well, to be a leader, you have to be a manager, and they're not the same thing necessarily.
Right.
Uh, and especially when you start off in your career, people say, where do you want to be in 5 years? And there's a very direct career path that people think you should take. And managers can be leaders,
Hmm.
but leaders don't have to be managers. So you can be where you could be quite junior, you think, in your position, but actually be a fantastic leader. Anybody can be a leader. And when you realize the qualities of those, most women have them. Any woman can be a leader. And that's the really exciting thing, because successful leadership to me is about creating visions, having ideas, inspiring, empowering other people to do things, think in different ways. A manager is really great at the execution. You can have a really great leader working with a manager to achieve great things together. But you don't have to be managing somebody to do that. And women are great communicators. They are authentic. They're great at working with other people. great at speaking up on behalf of other women, saying, you did a really great job with that. And if you can put yourself forward, you can be a great leader and not have to be a manager at the same time.
I love that. I love that you started it out with that, because I think that I've been on webinars and I've been in, different conferences where people will like listen to a thing about leadership. And I'm even guilty of this. And I'm like, oh, that'd be great if I were a leader. But what my head was, it's manager. Like, you don't have to manage people to be a leader. Everybody has the opportunity to be a leader, to spark that change, to make sure that, you're together moving forward on the same goal, voicing your opinion, everything you just said. Like, I love that you said that. Amazing.
Yeah, here you are, you're basically leading an entire network, but you don't think about that day to day.
No, I don't. I think of it as like I'm serving, right? But I guess that's a quality of leading too, is serving the people around you with whatever your mission is, right? So like,
Yeah.
And it could be anything.
Yeah,
And
it's
like
just
you
as
said, I'm sure that everyone's doing it in their personal life. So why not your professional life?
exactly, we are all leaders, we're doing it every day, and it's just having that confidence step forward and be the leader that you are. And that can be just empowering your teammates around you. You could become a leader tomorrow just by driving an idea forward, or getting involved with something and empowering everybody around you to execute something that you have in mind. So anybody can do it.
Yeah.
It's just the mindset that needs to change.
Yeah, no, I couldn't agree with you more. Um, loved you loved getting to see you at East. It's always fun to get to see someone that you've talked to on Zoom. So I'm so glad that you were able to get over. What did you think of the event?
I absolutely loved it. It was awesome. I think there were so many inspiring speakers, and just the way everyone was networking together, everybody got involved. I love meeting our team, but I think I took a takeaway from every single session there. And it was like we were saying, there are things you do day in, day out that you don't think about. And there's small changes or small things that you can do that will make such a huge impact when you start thinking about them in everyday life.
Yeah.
And we're all guilty of just getting so swamped with things. We don't take a step back,
Mm-hmm.
think about ourselves and all the great things we're doing every day and lifting each other up. I found it a really inspiring event, and also very educational as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I did too. I'm still like on that high, that motivational high, ready to take charge of 2023. Well, thank you so much for giving us your time today. I'm so appreciative. I know that there are many things that you have said that will definitely resonate with our listeners. So again, thank you so much for being here today, Francesca.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you too. It's been really great.
Yay. All right. Well, until I get to see you in London someday. With that, community, that was another wow. We hope that you enjoy your rest of your week, and happy Wednesday.